The wallet wasn't just full of money. It was full of a decision that could either save his life or define it forever. On a quiet evening, under a flickering streetlight, Ayan Malik stood frozen at a bus stop with $10,000 in his hands, and everything he had ever wanted within reach. No one was watching. Or at least, that's what he thought. The ceiling fan in Ayan's apartment made a soft grinding noise as it rotated, barely pushing the heavy summer air around the small living room. The paint on the walls had begun to peel in thin curls, and the old sofa dipped in the middle from years of use. Ayan stood on a plastic chair, stretching his arm toward a loose wire hanging from the ceiling light. "Careful, Beta," his mother Farah called from the dining table. Her voice carried both concern and exhaustion. "You'll fall." "I won't," Ayan replied, tightening the connection with steady fingers. "Almost done." The light flickered once, twice, then stayed on. "There," he said, stepping down. Farah gave a tired smile. "You've become the electrician, plumber, and repairman of this house." "Better than paying someone we can't afford," he said quietly. On the table in front of her was a pile of unopened envelopes, electricity notices, rent reminders, final warnings. And one envelope that didn't belong with the others. Ayan couldn't stop looking at it. A white letter, clean, important. His college acceptance. Farah noticed his gaze and quickly slid the letter under a notebook, as if hiding it would make the problem disappear. "Don't think about that right now," she said gently. "You just focus on your job." Ayan nodded, but the weight of that letter pressed harder than any bill. The deposit alone was more money than they had seen in years. The day passed like every other. Work at the grocery store, standing for hours, smiling at customers, sneaking extra bread into the bags of those who clearly needed it. His manager had warned him earlier. "Next time it comes out of your pay." Ayan had just nodded. Some things were worth the risk. By evening, his legs ached and his shirt clung to his back with sweat. The sky had turned orange as he walked toward the bus stop, thinking about the unpaid rent, the electricity cut scheduled for tomorrow, and his mother skipping meals without admitting it. Then he saw it. A black leather wallet, lying under the bench, ignored by everyone passing by. Ayan glanced around. No one seemed to care. He bent down and picked it up. It felt heavy. Too heavy. His heart started beating faster as he opened it. Cash. Stacks of it. Neatly folded. Crisp. His fingers trembled as he counted. $10,000. He froze. 10,000. That wasn't just money. That was rent. That was electricity. That was college. That was everything. A bus pulled up with a loud hiss. "Getting on or not?" the driver shouted. Ayan didn't move. Across the street, a man in a formal coat patted his pockets frantically before disappearing into the crowd. Ayan's chest tightened. This was it. No one would know. No cameras. No witnesses. No consequences. Just one choice. Keep it and fix everything. Or return it and go back to struggling. The bus doors began to close. Ayan looked at the money again. Then he closed the wallet and stepped away from the bus. The walk in the opposite direction felt longer than any journey he had taken before. Each step felt heavier. His mind kept whispering, "You're stupid. You need this. Your mother needs this." But another voice, quieter, stronger, refused to stay silent. "This isn't yours." By the time he reached the office building printed on the business card, the sun had already begun to set. Glass doors. Clean floors. People who looked like they belonged to another world. Ayan hesitated. Then walked in. The receptionist looked up. Yes. I found this, he said, holding out the wallet. She raised an eyebrow, surprised. A phone call later, Ayan stood in front of a man named Imran Qureshi. Sharp eyes. Calm expression. Expensive suit. You found my wallet? Imran asked. Yes, sir. Did you take anything? The question hit harder than Ayan expected. No, he said firmly. Imran checked every bill, every card, every pocket, then nodded. All right. And just like that, he went back to his work. No thank you. No appreciation. Nothing. Ayan stood there for a second, then quietly left. That night he barely ate. His mother noticed. What's wrong? Nothing, he said. But inside, something felt broken. He had done the right thing. So why did it feel like he had lost? Across the city, Imran sat alone in his office. The wallet lay open in front of him. Every dollar was still there. He leaned back in his chair, thinking. 5 wallets. 5 tests. Every time people failed. Until today. He picked up a file. Ayan Malik. A small apartment. Unpaid bills. Struggling family. Imran stared at the information. He needed the money the most and still didn't take it. For the first time in years, Imran smiled. The next morning, a knock came at Ayan's door. Farah opened it. A man in a suit stood there. Good morning, he said. I'm Imran Qureshi. Ayan froze. I came to talk about your son. Farah's face tightened. Is something wrong? Imran shook his head. No, everything is right. He explained. The wallet. The money. The honesty. Farah covered her mouth, tears forming instantly. Then Imran handed her an envelope. Inside is a check to help with your immediate problems. Her hands shook as she held it. And he continued, I would like to sponsor Ayan's full education. Silence filled the room. Ayan couldn't breathe. Also, Imran added, looking at him directly, I want you to work with me. You understand real struggle. That's something no degree can teach. Farah broke down, hugging her son tightly. You did the right thing, she whispered. You did the right thing. Everything changed. Bills got paid. Electricity stayed on. Food filled the fridge again. Ayan started working at Imran's company. At first, he felt out of place. But slowly things shifted. He spoke. He shared ideas. Real ideas. Not from books, but from life. How about community spaces instead of gyms people won't use? What if buildings are designed for families, not just profit? People listened. For the first time, his voice mattered. Weeks later, he presented a project. Affordable housing. Real solutions. Real change. Investors were impressed. Everything was finally coming together. Until it was. One morning, everything collapsed. Background checks. Old records. Late payments. School suspension. And rumors that the wallet incident was staged. The investors pulled out. Just like that. Gone. Imran said nothing. Ayan was asked to leave. The fall felt harder than before. Because this time, he had tasted hope. Back in his neighborhood, things were worse. Evictions. Families losing homes. Children crying. People desperate. Ayan stood there watching. Then something clicked. He didn't need a title. He didn't need an office. He just needed to help. So he did. He learned the laws. Helped people fight illegal evictions. Organized meetings. connected families, spent days knocking on doors, explaining rights, giving hope. No cameras, no praise, no reward, just doing what was right. One evening, as he spoke to a room full of worried families, someone stood quietly at the back, watching. Imran. He didn't interrupt, didn't announce himself. He just observed and understood. The next day, Ayan was called back. Imran looked at him differently this time. "I was wrong," he said. "About what?" Ayan asked. "I thought integrity was about one moment," Imran replied. "But it's not. It's about who you are even after everything is taken away." He leaned forward. "You didn't just return a wallet. You proved who you are when it mattered most." Weeks later, a stage was set. Crowds gathered. Cameras rolled. Imran stood at the microphone. "I made a mistake," he said publicly. "I judged based on paper, not character." He turned toward Ayan. "This young man showed me what real integrity looks like." Then came the announcement. A massive community project, fully funded, led by Ayan, not as an intern, but as a partner. The crowd erupted. Ayan looked into the audience. His mother stood there crying, smiling, proud. Months later, the neighborhood transformed. Clean buildings, safe spaces, hope, real hope. Ayan stood outside a small house, keys in his hand. He gave them to his mother. "This is yours." She broke down. No words, just tears. Later that day, a young boy approached him nervously. "I found this," he said, holding out a phone. "I didn't take anything." Ayan smiled, kneeling down. "You did something important today," he said. "Really?" the boy asked. "Yeah," Ayan nodded, "because doing the right thing, even when it's hard, can change everything." He looked around at the community, at the lives rebuilt, at the future created. All of this started with one choice. And for the first time, he truly understood. The money was never the opportunity. The choice was.